Welcome to Locales Unknown. This podcast gives you the tools you need to choose your next travel destination and the tips you want to be able to explore like a local. Here are your hosts, Chris and Winfield.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Locales Unknown. Today, we are here with Alexandre, aka Chadinho. We met when my wife and I were traveling in the state of Goiás. Goiás is relatively central in Brazil, capital of Brazil. Brasilia is within its boundaries. And today we're going to take you to a now national park that's about 3 hours north of Brasilia, the capital. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how you ended up there and what your favorite aspects of it are, please.
Nice. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I was born in Brasilia. It's the capital of Brazil and it's the biggest city close to Chapada. In my childhood, like 7 years old, my father take me to Chapada and I meet Sao Jorge. It's the first place I know Chapada was Sao Jorge. Live here in Sao Jorge today. I think it's a place very special with very special people to get in there, like Winfield, and very special energy of the place and very special nature. In Chapada, we have too many falls, cachoeiras in the rivers, amazing falls and rivers. We have a national park of Chapada dos Veadeiros. It's a really big park and has two big falls in the park of nature. National Park of Chapada dos Veadeiros. Sao Jorge is the enter of the park.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Chapada is on state of Goiás, but I think it's different of the other cities of Goiás because it's a place now is a tourist place. And people to visit from very countries and cities, and a lot of people, a lot of kind of peoples. So has a special culture, local culture in Sao Jorge.
Exactly. And I think that, as you said, you pronounce it a lot better than I do, but Chapada dos Veadeiros in English is the plateau of deer. So the landscape in this part of Goiás is part of what's called the cerrado, and the cerrado is a vast plain with various microclimates, but also a lot of very interesting rock formations that look like you're in another planet or another world as you go around it. And as you said a little bit there, it became a national park not too long ago, but prior to becoming a national park, there was a lot of mining that took place there and a lot of collection of crystals. And now a lot of the guides in the region that show visitors around the national park used to be explorers and used to mine crystals in the park. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. The history of Sao Jorge, it's just a collected crystals bill. It's just the people who collect the crystals.
Exactly. And in terms of, you were talking about the waterfalls, which are absolutely spectacular. And we had the privilege, my wife and I, of doing a tour that had featured three of them. One of them being Loquinhas, Garampao as well. I can't overstate how big these waterfalls are. One of them, Garampao, was 80 meters high. So for our American listeners, that's about 250 feet. The other one, I don't recall exactly, but it was over 300 feet high. It's around 100 meters. So these are really spectacular, beautiful scenery and aspects of water that you can't find readily in other places. In terms of going around there's a trail there which you can access. What would you suggest for somebody that's new to Sao Jorge and the region? Where would you suggest they go, and how long should they stay in Chapada?
Here in Sao Jorge, we say if you want to know all the falls, you're gonna stay a year or 2 years to know all the falls. But in a regular trip, I think the most famous falls of San Jorge is called Vale da Lua. It's like Moon Valley of the Moon. You know, it's a very special place. The rocks come a river between rocks, and the rocks it's like printed like the moon,
like a crescent shape, half circle.
It's the shape of the moon in the rocks.
Oh, okay.
You know, buracos. How can I say buracos?
Holes.
Oh, like craters.
Yes, exactly. Looks like the surface. Yep.
It's a very special place. You say, Winfield, Chapada dos Veadeiros is the pronunciation in Brazilian. And it's
Chapada dos Veadeiros.
This name tell a little history of Chapada. We have veado in here in cerrado. You know, is the animal veado? It's like the Bambi.
Deer. Deer, yeah.
It's the name. Exactly. We have veado, and the people who shot veados was calling veadeiros. It's like veado shooter, veado hunter.
Deer hunter in English.
Yep.
Very interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Chapada of Deer Hunters is the name.
So the plateau of deer hunters in English. Okay.
Yes, the plateau of deer hunters. The beginning of San Jorge, the village, it's more farmer and crystal. How can I say the mines?
Yeah, a miner.
Who work in the mines.
Miners, exactly.
Crystal miners is the beginning of San Jorge. Here in Chapada, we stay, we walk, and ups huge crystal deposit in the earth. You know, has too many crystals, and Winfield say them a little bit of them, but we has a huge deposit of crystals on the earth in Chapada.
Exactly.
So you mentioned it was a mining town as well. So I myself haven't been there. Winfield sent me a couple of pictures when him and Vivi, his wife, went. So I'm trying to picture this. Are there still large crystal mines right next to these waterfalls? I know you mentioned that it's now a national forest. So I'm assuming all of those mines are closed down and untouched now?
Some parts today you can visit and see a whole of the miners. Some people has little things of miners like tools and some things.
Okay.
But I think today the culture, the local culture, it's more like tourists and don't have any miners today, you know. It's a miners village, but in the middle of the amazing falls and amazing nature.
Yeah.
Like Winfield says, cerrado, it's like, I think in English, it's more like savanna.
Savannah.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's like a savanna. So we has mountains and a lot of point views.
Mhm. Yeah, and viewpoints and lookouts. I'm sure it's gorgeous. I mean, the pictures you sent, Winfield, and I think it's up on our Instagram already, where we're pretty incredible. And I got to imagine the first people that made their way out there and stayed. You were saying this before we started recording. Were pretty adventurous and hippies, and now the people that have stayed there generations later, I'm sure that culture is still kind of there. Is there more of a hippie vibe within the town? Real chill, relaxed?
Yeah, it's more like that. All these crystals, some people believes the energy of the place is special.
Mm.
The energy of the people who goes to there, it's more like you say hippies.
Well,
Mhm.
it's funny because Winfield and I spent a couple weeks going around Brazil. We didn't make it over to you. Like I mentioned, he came that direction. We met up in Manaus. But when I went into various markets, I saw a lot of crystal shops just throughout Brazil. And that was surprising to me. It's not something we see readily in the United States in certain areas. So,
Nice.
is that being the fact that they're coming from where you are? I mean, is there different crystals mean different things? I don't really know a lot about it.
Yes, has people who study the crystal and other rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And some rocks it's more therapeuticals.
Yep.
Therapeuticals.
It's
Therapeutic.
therapeutic.
Eh,
Mhm.
to some things and other things has a pink crystal. For example, pink crystal it's more to regulate your love energy of the body of the mind. And other rocks, I don't know. Other rocks has special therapeutical powers for these people
Exactly.
who study these rocks.
And you were kind enough to let me choose a crystal from your beautiful crystal garden. I'm still honored. I have it by my bed now.
Nice.
I'll admit, my wife is very into crystals and the five chakras of the body and all of this alignment and balance that is really fundamental to the human existence. But you mentioned before about there being so many crystals in the region. Legend has it that ETs or extraterrestrials from other universes or other planets can see Chapada from space because there are so many crystals and there's so much light and positive energy radiating from there. There have been various reported sightings, aliens, extraterrestrials in the region. Some locals consider that one part of the Chapada is a portal to the fifth dimension. What does that mean to you, and what experience have you had with other forms of life?
What I think of all of this, the culture of Chapada was made by these adventurers, the first adventurers, who was calling more people and more people. We has this thing of mystical peoples and the thing of the mystical place. You know, the sky view of Chapada, it's more cleaner of the cities than the cities. No? It's more clean than the cities.
The air
I
quality
think
is it's perfect.
Really?
to see stars and other thing like that. It's a really psychedelic view of the sky. I believe the Earth has a energy flowing on the Earth. The Earth energy is flowing, and Chapada it's like a portal of the energy flowing from the Earth. Had too many special places on the Earth, but Chapada it's one of this. The culture has the ETs. I think it's like because this.
Right. They're drawn to positive energy, and because Chapada is that gateway, they like to visit in and around there. What our guide who showed us around the national park, he specifically told us that he had seen an extraterrestrial spaceship on his farm, along with his cousin, when he was 16 years old. So take that as you will, but there is quite a bit of positive energy, as you said. So when people arrive to the region, they have to drive about 3.5 hours from Brasilia. Brasilia is the only airport close by. And they typically arrive in Alto Paraiso, which is high paradise in English, or higher. And Sao Jorge from there is about 40 to 45 minutes. So what do you suggest in terms of an itinerary for people who have, let's say, a long weekend in the region? Where should they go, and how long should they stay in each place?
So a week, a trip of the week, it's good to know Chapada. In High Paradise, we got, you say Loquinhas? You visit Loquinhas?
Unfortunately not, because it was closed due to the rain, too much rain. That's one thing I didn't know about waterfalls as well, is that too much rain, you can just be swept away. So
Yes.
very dangerous. Good to know.
And I say Vale da Lua, the Vale, it's danger too in the rains. When it rains, it's a little bit dangerous. But Vale da Lua is the first. I'm gonna say in Portuguese. I think it's better. Né? Vale da Lua is the first must see. You must see Vale da Lua. It's like Brazil. It's like Rio. It must see Rio. In São Jorge, you must see Vale da Lua. I think National Park. You must visit National Park of Chapada. We have Morada do Sol. It's like sun, home of sun, Morada do Sol.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Segredo Falls, Secret Falls,
Mm-hmm.
Cachoeira do Segredo. We have too many falls to visit.
Pau as well. Yeah, exactly. So many.
I have a
So
question
many.
about all of these falls, because Winfield and I, we did a couple days in the Amazon, and a lot of the really cool waterfalls were quite a big trek. So you had to walk a couple kilometers down to them to see. Is it like that in Chapada as well, or is it pretty accessible to just maybe drive to these waterfalls at a lookout point?
I think it's part of the experience. Some falls, the experience of these falls is walking and make a trek.
Yeah.
It's part of the experience. Like National Park, you're gonna stay one day walking on the middle of savannah of cerrado to get the biggest falls of the Chapada in the park. But some falls, it's more easy to visit. You stop the car and walk just 100 meters.
So you have
200
both
meters.
options then, huh?
Yeah. It's
People
like
have
Vale da Lua. Vale da Lua, you can stop the car, walk just 10 minutes, you are walking on the moon. The holes of the moons and the shape of rocks. I think it's for everybody. Everyone can visit some falls. We have in Chapada called águas termais. It's like thermal waters.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They born on the earth warm water, and the people made pools, and you can visit pools, natural pools of warm water, and you can visit at night or at rains. When it rains, you can visit these pools of warm waters. Águas termais.
Very
It's
nice.
therapeutic too. and the people believes it's therapeutical.
Sounds like a very tranquil, natural place. That must be why it has such a mystical vibe to it.
Yes, it's like that. The mystical people, it's the face of Chapada, I think. You can study and come part of studies of therapeutical methods, natural methods of health, like yoga, like theta healing, massages, and crystals,
Exactly.
Yeah, there's few places that are untouched like that from the city life, where you can completely disconnect and go for more of the natural element to cleanse, if that makes just any sense. Like a retreat.
Nice. I think it's not disconnect from the day by day on the city, disconnect
Sure.
from this speed of city speed, but you are more connected with you, or more connected with nature, or because we are nature,
Yeah.
so you are more connected with what you are in the really. We are not cities, we are nature. Humans are nature. So I say it's more to connect in St. George and not disconnect.
I like that.
Exactly.
It's a good way to look at it.
Plug into your inner human. And as you said, there are a lot of stores both in Sao Jorge and Alto Paraiso that cater to people looking for a holistic lifestyle in terms of
Yes.
crystals. There are a lot of natural stores. You have a lot of options for massages, chakra balancing, things of that nature. So if that's something that your listeners are interested in, you will find all of that in both of these cities, and also great food. You can have a lot of vegetarian and vegan options. Also have meat and seafood and a little bit of everything. The famous pequi risotto, and of course pamona. Right? Tell us a little bit about some of the Goiás dishes.
So pamonha, it's a corn food made with sugar and like candy pamonha with corn. It's more like a cake, or made with salt, and is a salt pamonha. It's like a salt cake with corn, and it's local from Goiás, pamonha. It's more local of Brazil. I don't know if it has just in Goiás. Pamonha, it's from Brazil, but the Goiás pamonha, it's famous. I think all these people to want to get more connected with the body and mind and soul, all these people's and in this search, in this journey of the body, mind, and soul, they gonna search for more healthy foods. So here you say the cafe, Chapada Chill cafe. It's I think it's the a place to mix all these conceptuals, like healthy and spiritual, mystical, maybe healthy food, And in Chapada Chill, we has a garden with crystals, spiritual music, or just chilled music. Food we made by love, made with love and attention. It's organic food from the place, or food made by people from the place. The plants of the salad, it's collected close the from the cafe, the restaurant, in little horta. How can I say horta in English? A
Yes.
little farm,
So what? Yucca?
Right.
house
Exactly.
farm, house farm.
House farm. So you're saying all the ingredients that you use are all locally sourced within the town and the region.
Yes, we prefer this way.
Exactly. And I know that we met. You heard my accent through my broken Portuguese, and you brought me some fantastic cachaça that cannot be found anywhere else. But as
Yes,
you mentioned, it's all about the balance, right? The organic foods, the vegetarian foods, and
yes,
the foods from the region. A little bit of everything in moderation.
yes. Cachaça is a natural symbol of Brazil. I think it's nothing can be more local than cachaça. So we mixed cachaça with some we call conscience drinks conscientes. It's like drinks with some
Consciousness.
yes,
Mm.
this okay.
Very introspective.
What was so different about that one, Winfield? Because we've definitely sampled our fair share of. Because I always mess this up. Cachaça. Yeah, there we go.
Yes. So first of all, it was one. He served me two. One was a tangerine infused one, which is very unique. I think that was a proprietary blend, so we'll keep that under wraps. and the other one was from Rio, but each was different in its own right. But my wife, Vivi, had one of your holistic teas, I believe, and something else as well. We also tried we tried everything. We also had one of the beers as well, because we had to sample it all. But just so give us a little bit of background. How did I know you just started the cafe recently. What was your inspiration for opening your business with your family?
I think my personal journey is getting more connected, body, mind, and soul. It's the concept of the cafe. It's feeding body, mind, and soul. I think the best way to get my journey and the things who I believe in to try change my world, not change all the world, but change my world. Between me, behind the word of close to me. And the best way to try change the word close to me is getting money. Why not getting money? Sustainable
Right.
business
In a fulfilling way.
It's like a social business.
Right.
We
Sustainable responsibility.
Yep.
Yes. This thing. We bring the origins of Chapada in Chapada Café, the Chapada Chill. We tell the history of the beginning of Chapada and crystals and miners and the local tourists of the beginnings, but some the more modern things like mysticals and ETs. It's a lot of things who I believe or us believe, né? We believe in Chapada Chill. It's my wife and me. It's the beginning of Chapada Chill.
Oh, that's beautiful, and that's what small business is all about. And the fact that you're giving back to the community and making a positive impact on everybody that comes through your doors is really what inspired both Vivi and me in terms of being your guest. We really felt as if we were in your home, and your hospitality was fantastic. So no, thank you. And to go back, we've touched on this a little bit. To talk again about some of the falls and getting to nature, it's a little bit more challenging in the wet season because there can be a lot of rain. So we want to caution listeners who are going to Goias and Chapada in the rainy season. Be sure to check the weather first and be sure to see if it's what the percentage chance of rain is, because rain can come very quickly and you can become trapped very quickly if you're in a waterfall or something like that. Isn't that right?
Yes, it's right. I think one thing, Chapada in Cerrado, we has the rain seasons when it's just 5 months of the rain seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's like November to March.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Summer, more or less.
more like summer. It's
Mm-hmm.
the rain seasons. In the not rain seasons, we call seca. How can I say in English?
Dry
Dry.
season.
The
Mhm.
dry season,
Very
it's
dry.
very dry. It's really very dry. Have 2 points. In the dry season, it's more safer
Mhm.
getting the river. Just to know, né? It's more the river. It's the water is more clean because
Mhm.
it's not rain,
Sure.
so don't has any dirt on the, but has some falls. For example, one fall called Abismo.
Mhm.
Abismo is just in the river seasons
Mhm.
because they dry on the dry seasons.
Right. Not enough water.
Has no water in Abismo.
Mm.
E Abismo, it's a really nice place to must know and to visit San Jorge, visit Chapada, you must visit Abismo. It's like Janela do Abismo ou Mirante da Janela. It's like
A
window,
window. Mhm.
the window mirrors. It's called mirror. It's called window because some rocks make it like a window in the
Nice.
middle of rocks. The view of the window, it's huge falls in the national park. You say it has 18 meters, 18 meters,
Wow, yeah.
but the biggest one is 115 meters,
Mm. Wow.
120 metros a
Mhm.
cachoeira, the falls.
So then, if the rainy season is 5 months, would you say that's from December to about April? Is that
It's
about
like
right?
November, March. It's
Okay.
more like that.
So then, what if you had to pick one month? What would that month be to be the best time to come visit, just to see everything, but to be able to get the right vibe?
The apps, I think, is July.
July. Okay.
July because has it's the winter time and dry time.
Mm.
So we has a winter festival on the city. It's the apps of the dry, so you don't has any chance to in the middle of the trekking of the falls start rain. Don't have any chance
Oh, that's
to
good.
to get in rain. But I think it's an other thing. If you visit in the river sessions like December and January, if you think I gonna take a experience to trek,
Mhm.
if you get in sun, it's a good experience. If you get in run, it's a good. If you race, it's a good experience too. If you think like that, you're gonna take a good experience. You are thinking like that. But
It's a
Exactly.
prime
July is the
example of
best
that
month.
positive
July
attitude you were talking about, huh?
Mhm.
July is the best time.
is the
I like
best
it.
time.
Nice.
Yeah, and as you said, it's so hot walking through the Cerrado and the trails in Chapada. You're gonna wish. I know I did about 5 minutes in, and I thought, wow, I feel like I'm on a frying pan. But as you said, regardless of the weather, it's the experience and the tranquility of the nature is second to none. It's hard to put into words without going there and experiencing it yourself.
Nice.
So we're now going to move into our signature lightning round, where we ask you 10 questions
Okay.
about your experience. So are you ready?
Nice. Let's go.
All right. So, one wish, what would it be?
One wish. For me, for Chapada,
For you.
one wish. Getting every day more connected with my proposed.
Mm. So, what you were
Every
talking
day.
about, continuing
Every
to
day. More
fulfill your
connected.
responsibility on Earth. Yeah, that's great.
Yes, it's my wish. Getting today better than yesterday.
Great advice. Which country do you want to visit the most and why?
Africa.
Mm.
Some Egypt.
Egypt. Oh,
Egypt.
very nice. Because
It's,
of the connection. I got you.
I think it's the beginning of humans, the beginning of society is the beginning of everything. I wish and feel the vibe of these things.
Nice.
No, definitely. So what's one place or thing in Brazil that you still really want to do?
I dream with adventure things, like getting in the mountains and campings upstairs the mountains and tirolesa. I don't know how saying.
Zip line. Yes,
Zip lining?
The Gaviao, the
This
Hawk
kind of
zip line.
things.
Yeah, we
This
forgot to
kind of-
mention that. There's a great zip line right next to between Alto Paraiso and Sao Jorge that I actually did. You can fly like a bird. It's called the Hawk zip line.
Yes, and they call voo do gavião. It's like
Flight of the Hawk.
yes, really nice to know.
Nice.
You and Chris would be kindred spirits. He's a hardcore adventurer.
Yeah, man. I was gonna ask if there are a lot of treks and camping and climbing in the national park, but we moved on to the lightning round. And I think if you would have liked zip lining, you probably would have wanted to join us in Rio. We did hang gliding in Rio,
Nice.
man. That was cool. Yeah.
Cool.
So, what's the strangest thing you've eaten?
A few years ago, a friend of mine brings some snacks from US. It's snacks like Cheetos, but made larvas.
Oh,
Cheetos made with larvas. It's
Wow.
the worst thing I have
Cheetos
eaten.
made with a lot of it. That sounds
Okay.
more like it was out of Mexico than
yeah,
the US.
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I've never tried it. Have you, Chris?
No, I haven't even heard of it. The only thing I'm thinking in my mind is the larva at the bottom of the mezcal bottle. That would be dry. So just to powder that in some fake cheese, that'd be weird.
Yeah, but it's good.
Yep.
The-
Okay.
The worst thing is good.
Is the larva good or was the Cheeto flavor good?
I think it's just the flavor.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite thing about Brazil?
The favorite thing, I think, is the people. The favorite thing of Brazil is the Brazilian people. I think because we has a different energy to connect with each others and special culture. If you really study the culture of the local place in Brazil, you're gonna see the richest cultures. So I guess the people is the most richest things of Brazil.
Right. Exactly. And each state is so different. Each city, as you said, is so different. There's such a diversity. And I know, Chris, I think you experienced that as well a bit, right?
Yeah, fortunately, we're just coming off a couple weeks of when I was in Brazil, so I couldn't agree more. There is definitely a spirit in Brazil that I haven't felt in very many other places, and not a lot of your U.S. tourists go around Brazil. So it's hard to ask people, what is it like down there? But when I got down, regardless of what I thought it might be, it was incredible. Every single person was helpful, was family. You look them in the eyes once and all of a sudden you're family. And that was unbelievable.
Family is the word.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. So what is the must-see attraction in Brazil?
Chapada, of course.
No brainer, right?
Chapada, of course. You must see Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo if you want to get visit a big city and place on a city. São Paulo is the biggest city of Brazil, but I think Chapada it's a special place. It's not just because I live here, but to be because it's a special place. I live here. I'm not saying it's a special place because I live here. I live here because it's a special place.
Yeah, you chose that place because of the energy and the vibe. I had no idea coming into this podcast what it was like. I just saw a couple of pictures. So I'm amazed that it's so untouched and there's not yoga retreats everywhere. And usually when you find places like this, it's overrun with commercialized things. So the fact that it's untouched and natural makes it even more appealing.
Nice. Yeah. We has like you say, special places to get and eat. And so when you got some fun or dancing or drinking, it's a special place of dancing, a special place of drinks, I think it's because this energy.
Exactly. And as Chris said, you were drawn to it. It chose you to be part of that to that ambiance. So that's important. So what is one tip that you have for travelers?
Like you say, the trekking maybe can be hot, so getting prepared to like a walk on the beach. You're gonna make a solar protection, but you are in the middle of the nature, so has buzzes. So getting prepared to walking, eating well, stretching well, take good clothes, shoes to walking. I think the most important thing is feeling. Has on your mind to feeling. You are getting the middle of nature. You are getting a track to connect you with yourself or connect, has time to walk and time to drink and fun. But both you can be connected with this.
Exactly. Finding that balance, being prepared for a rugged landscape, but
Yes,
balancing that out with finding an inner spiritual connection.
and just enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoy.
So what motivates you to travel?
I think the trips it's the riches, the treasure, and you don't no one can rob it for you. It's a treasure to go with you. The trips, I know. I think it's
Right.
It's like richest things, not just your mind and the body. It's a pleasure to trip, but the soul.
Mm-hmm.
You have the feelings and to bring to you for your life.
Right. Soulful experiences. Mm-hmm. And which mode or modes of transportation do you recommend to get around Chapada and the region?
Like you say, in Brasilia is the closed airport in Brasilia. So if you come from airplane, you're gonna stop in Brasilia airport. Juscelino Kubitschek Airport, JK Airport. And have bus to Chapada, but I think the more comfortable way is getting a car, rent a car in Brasilia, and go to Chapada. It's like a trip in 3 hours, 2-3 hours to Brasilia from Brasilia to Chapada. I think it's better rent a car because in Sao Jorge you can go to every falls you want.
Right. The flexibility is key. There's not much public transport once you get up there, so having a car is definitely important.
Nice.
And so our final question: if there's one experience that you could relive in your life, what would it be?
It's not so easy. Choose. No?
We saved the best for last.
It takes everybody a little while, so it's good. It's good.
I think to talking of Chapada, okay. I think my first time to visiting the national park, I was like 11, 12 years old, and walking with my father and my sisters. It's like a huge adventure. So they say, Xandinho, today you're gonna walk 6 kilometers, and it's a huge adventure. We're gonna enter the national park. Maybe we're gonna see animals. Maybe you're gonna see, I don't know. It's an adventure. So the first time, it's very special to me. I see some guys jumping from the rocks on the river, and I feel scared, but I want,
Yeah.
So I wish try and try the highest rock, but I feel fear and try to more close to water. If it's a good experience to I wish feeling again. If can I come back in the time, I think I gonna start jumping the highest rocks on the river.
Exactly.
I'll do it with
adventure. You. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Chapada we has some rocks safely to jump on the river, and like 10 and 12 meters. Or
still pretty high.
Meters.
Yeah, it's a high jump.
It's a high jump, but with safely because the river is deeper,
right.
Deep rivers with no rocks and no woods.
You just have to take the leap. That's the hardest part.
Nice.
Just like travel.
That's right.
Take that first step. You never know what you're going to find.
Just jump.
Jump.
There we go. That's the spirit.
It's a good tip for whole life. Just jump.
100%. Thank you so much again for your time today. We had a fantastic trek. I feel like I relived all of Chapada and all of its twists and turns. The restaurant again is Chapada Chill. Be sure to check it out when you are in Sao Jorge. And my best to your family, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone over there.
Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure talk to you. Everyone who wanna listen, it's a pleasure talk to you too.
Yeah, man, great meeting you. I gotta say, after listening to this, I didn't know what to expect. It sounds beautiful. I want to come. I want to have a drink with you at Chapada Chill. And in the meantime, where can people find you on social media?
The Instagram of Chapada Chill, it's Chapada Chill. Close. Chapada Chill. Just Chapada Chill. Enough. And my Instagram is Xandinho.chill.
Cool. We'll make sure that people can reach out and take a look at the cafe. And when they're in the area, definitely stop by. I really appreciate it. Happy holidays to you.
Okay. And when you come to here, you're gonna know the drink of Chapada Chill with cachaça and tangerina.
Exactly.
After we jump.
Kombucha. Did you know kombucha?
Kombucha, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's a drink with tea and fruits to get infused and we use this kombucha to make a drink. It's like kombucha pada, the name. Kombucha pada.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to jumping off that ledge with you as well in the national park. And one day, for sure, I know I'll be back down in Brazil soon enough.
Nice.
Well, thanks
Exactly.
again.
Thank you so much. So without further ado, we're back with another fun fact. Brazil actually is the largest producer of sugar in the world. So for all of you out there with a sweet tooth, be sure to head south and sample the delicious dessert delicacies.
Well, there you have it. Another fun fact about a locale unknown. Thank you, Winfield, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode with us. We started this podcast in the hopes of shedding some light on the various destinations out there in the world that might be more off the beaten path. And we're hoping we're accomplishing that goal by bringing on our friends and our various guests to give us some insight about their various locations and what to do in the areas. So if you like what you hear, make sure that you follow us on all the podcast platforms as well as the social media platforms out there, because we're back every single week. I wouldn't want you to miss what we have coming up. We already have a couple great guests in the pipeline that we are very excited for, and I think you guys will be too. So we are on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on all the other platforms. Locales Unknown. Go ahead and hit the search. When you find us, be sure to hit the follow or subscribe button. And if you're an Apple Podcast user out there, please let us know how we're doing. We're building this for you guys. So scroll down to the bottom of Apple Podcasts and go ahead and leave us a review and maybe some comments there. Also on social media, we are very active on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. We have our YouTube channel, so feel free to go ahead and drop us a line. We have our website, localesunknown.com. You can find all of our episodes there. And if you want to reach us directly, we have our email address, contact@localesunknown.com. Maybe you have some suggestions for us. Maybe you want to introduce us to someone that you think might be a great fit for the show. We are all ears. So once again, thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back here next week with another great episode somewhere out there in the world. Stay tuned.